Ooh, I did like 5 last year.
Did you? I only
Yeah.
counted 6.
What's up, people? Today, man, we've got some bold predictions for you. That's like our sleepers. That's where you can hit the lottery, man. So some of my favorite slot pools, as far as I'm concerned. I got 3 of them today. Jason's got 3. Jason was 3 for 3 last year. I think I might have been 0 for 3. Okay, so pay attention to what Jason says, but also pay attention to what I say, because if you like me, you should. If you don't like me, whatever, dude. Fuck you too. Anyways, we got our news and our brews. So all the latest news. This is a live drinking show, man. So comment down below. We have our listener league drafting tomorrow, 10-man league. If 2 people want to join, I can do that tomorrow at 3 o'clock Pacific time. Okay. And also, what else do we have, man? I think that is it, Jason. So please, we need the public to help the show. Tell them how they can do this.
Yeah, if you guys can go ahead and subscribe and like the channel, that'd be great. Vomit in the comments. Let us know about these bold predictions. They are kind of crazy. We're also on radio on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We got a Patreon. We also got a Discord. I'm kind of lonely in it because it's just me. Back to you, Tyler.
Do you write anything? Has there been any words written?
I have posted like 3 things in there just in case. It's me responding to myself, actually.
Yeah, I know you told me to get it. Apparently, I need to get it as well. I need to download Discord. All right. First up, man, we got the news. We got the brews. Jason, you are a Cowboys fan. The Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers for 2 firsts and that former Pro Bowl defensive lineman, defensive tackle, to be specific. Anyways, Jason, how do you feel about this? People are talking about going. They like this for Dak Prescott. They say that the Cowboys are going to be dumpster fire. Their defense is going to be a dumpster fire. And Dak's going to have to throw from behind a lot. They're also saying go grab Green Bay's defense. And to me, I don't really believe in any of those. I don't think that Micah Parsons makes, I think he makes a big difference, but I don't think he makes a big fantasy difference to like make the Green Bay Packers over the top as far as a fantasy defense, or Dak Prescott that much more valuable because he's going to make the Cowboys defense that much worse. How do you feel about all that?
First and foremost, I want to say fuck Jerry. Second, I was like, you know what? If I had to go about this on, in a fantasy football mindset, I'm thinking the same way. I was like, Parsons out of there, the defense is going to be weaker. And then I'm like, you know what? I also have Josh Jacobs in our home league. And I'm like, well, now Packers defense is going to be even better. Maybe they're going to be playing with the win most of the time, which means more carries for Josh Jacobs. That's where my mindset went. But overall, it's a big fuck you to Jerry.
Who did you, so you got Josh Jacobs. Who was your other running back?
Amarian Hampton.
Oh, damn, dude. So you got Josh Jacobs and Amarian Hampton. That's pretty good. I got Jahmyr Gibbs and TreVeyon Henderson. So that's my duo. All right.
The 2 most explosive players of the league.
Hey, man, you should catch me after a night at Little Caesars. I'll be the most explosive player in the league. Jason, Adam Thielen to the Vikings. As a Vikings fan, I do think that it will make a difference in the first 3 games. But I think the bigger impact here is Jalen Coker, who has just announced that he's going to be playing slot for the Carolina Panthers. I'm a McMillan owner, King Tut owner. If I was not a King Tut owner, I would have ran out and got Jalen Coker as soon as I heard this news. So if you are wanting a really good, flex option, potentially, a lottery ticket in the bottom of your bench, go get Jalen Coker right now.
Yeah, he's going to be the player to get out of this. Adam Thielen, yeah, maybe 3 games, and that'll be it. He's not going to win you any leagues.
And it's not like he's got chemistry with J.J. McCarthy or something like that. So if it was Kirk Cousins throwing the ball, I would be freaking out. But yeah, it's J.J. McCarthy, so I'm not that concerned about that. There we go, man. Jaden Reed has a Jones fracture in his left foot. Did you hear that already, Jason?
Yeah, and he's been dropped in our home league.
Oh my God, I did not see that. Shit, yeah. When did that happen? Must happen this afternoon.
Yeah.
So, yes, a player that was constantly dealing up, who's a roller coaster ride to begin with, and now he's got a foot fracture and his injury. This is just nothing but good news for Matthew Golden, if I had to guess, and Tucker Kraft, who I did not like that much. But hey, man, the situation keeps on getting better for him. I still want to remind you that they had who's that Oregon State tight end, Luke Musgrave, he was drafted ahead of Tucker Kraft, and he was the better pass catcher. So Tucker Kraft still does have to compete with that. But hey, if you're thinking about Golden, what's his name? Matthew Golden.
Yeah,
that just reinforces that for me.
Yeah, and like the fact that if people are dropping Reed, go pick him up, please. If you got Reed for free Reed, yes, please go pick him up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially who would you rather have though, Jason? Would you rather have Jalen Coker or Jaden Reed off the waiver wires? Put him on your IR for a little bit.
That's a good question. Maybe Coker.
I think Coker. If I was in a King Tet, I do think he'll probably he might average like 7 targets a game, man. So as far as like a flex PPR, I think he might be a really good play there. And then let's see, dude, Godwin to miss at least the first 4 games, according to GM. So there was a report saying that he was going to be ready for week 1, dude. And everybody's like, oh, all the Ibukwa hype out the fucking window. And then the GM came and addressed it 8 hours ago. This was posted. So yeah, he will miss the beginning of the season and then should come back. If you can afford it, Godwin, I'd rather have Godwin over Jalen Coker and over Jaden Reed if you can stash him on your IR.
Yeah, the playing pathway just keeps opening up for Ibuka.
Yeah, I tried to trade for him and no response on that trade. And here we go. Tyjae Spears Jason to miss the first 4 weeks as well. So there was rumors that he might hit the PUP list. I just saw that he was going to miss the first 4 weeks right here, maybe even more. They said, you can start counting on him in the second half of the season, whatever. But this just is like Tony Pollard, man. We were pushing Tony Pollard before all this, and now I wish I would have drafted Tony Pollard.
Yeah, he might get the most snaps out of anybody in the first 3 weeks. So if you have him, play him.
Yeah, volume. I was like, I know I can't remember who they goes get this. Not the 49ers. I can't remember who it is.
They
first
play the Broncos in the first week.
Oh my God, that's not good.
I might retract my last statement.
I retract my last statement. All right, man. Let's get into any news or brews I'm missing, Jason.
No. Fuck Jerry.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who are saying, hey, dude, this is a haul. 2 first. I think he should have got at least a couple, a second and a third, something like that. I think if you would have got a couple middle round picks, the actual value picks for NFL GMs, where you don't have to pay and give them 5-year contracts, I think that would have been better. Obviously, but I mean, I wouldn't have done that deal unless I would have got some of those middle round picks too. Okay, so I'm going to share a screen, Jason. We're going to go over our picks from last season. And it's going to be black screen for a minute, but then it will show up with our stuff. So our first prediction was mine, Jason. I said Derrick Henry was going to be the number 1 running back in fantasy football. He finished as running back number 4 in PPR and running back 2 in standard leagues. For being a bold statement, I mean, he was going as running back 13 or 14 or something like that. So I thought it was bold at the time, and I'm okay with this, okay? So, I mean, he almost got 2,000 yards. He had a bunch of touchdowns. So, and he took all the rushing opportunities away from Lamar Jackson around the goal line. So, anyways, Jason, I feel good about this one. That's probably my best prediction.
Yeah, you did good.
The next up, man, you were very specific with your predictions, man. I don't know if you know this, but you said that Ladd McConkey was going to have 120 targets and 100 receptions. He ended up with 112 targets and 82 receptions. He really hit it off in the last of the season. I think he only played 14 games. So if you would have played every single game, Jason, I think you would have hit your mark, maybe. But still, I think it's not your best call, but I think that's your 3rd best call, and it's still really close.
Man, he's the only one that I remembered this offseason or during the season. I try to keep track of his receptions, and I'm just like, if he just averages, 10 receptions a game, like in week 13. But he's still pretty close. He became the vocal point in that passing offense.
And then I said Ramondre Stevenson and James Conner will finish the season with more fantasy points than Alvin Kamara, because I was an Alvin Kamara owner the year before, and I was like so pissed off at the second half of the season. Kamara, dude, he led the league in NFL targets with 89 or something like that. He was running back 9 in PPR. Connor was running back 11 and Stevenson running back 28. So I was close with James Conner, way off with Ramondre Stevenson. Ramondre Stevenson missed a lot of time. and he only had like 3 good weeks, so that was not a great pick. So again, James Conner, who do you think's going to finish ahead, Jason? James Conner or Alvin Kamara this year?
Oh, and they're getting drafted around the same spot. You
How
know
about
what?
that
I'm
James
gonna have to
Conner?
go. I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara just because I keep hearing out of camp that Trey Benson's gonna have a bigger role this year.
Dude, everybody's saying that, and I'd probably still get James Conner, but I'm just avoiding the Saints. Everything about the Saints, I'm avoiding him. Terry McLaurin, Jason, this is your best thing. If you didn't get so specific, you'd have been fine, Jason. But you're all Terry McLaurin will average 16.5 fantasy points per game and be a top 10 wide receiver. He was 15 points per game. He was going as wide receiver like 30 something, dude. Jason and I actually both had bold predictions on Terry McLaurin. I don't know if you remember this, but we did not tell each other our bold predictions, and we both had him on Terry McLaurin. I chose yours. So yeah, he averaged 15.5, so not quite the 16.5, 1 fantasy point off. And he was a top 10 wide receiver. So Terry McLaurin, Jason, we were all about last year. And we say the wide receiver we're all about this year is Calvin Ridley, is our Terry McLaurin of this year. And I've heard this a lot over the last couple of weeks. Now people are jumping on our backs. But yeah, so Terry McLaurin, Jason, probably your best pick.
Yeah, and that was exactly what I was going to say about Calvin Ridley too. Is that now this year?
I'm talking about Calvin 1, Jason, not Calvin Ridley 2.
What's Calvin Ridley 1?
I'm being stupid. Continue.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm sorry, Tyler. Tell me after the show.
I think you're talking about Calvin Ridley 2. And I was like, no, I'm talking about Calvin Ridley 1.
Calvin Ridley as well. Also, now he's the Terry McLaurin of this year because Terry McLaurin had to wait most of his career to get a good quarterback. A rookie quarterback finally got it, able to play well. Last 2 or 3 seasons, Calvin Ridley's been waiting for a good quarterback. He finally got one with the first overall pick. I'm getting the same vibes for this year with Calvin Ridley.
And then Jason, I was like, Christian Kirk. I was all about Christian Kirk last year as a value. Will outscore all of the 49ers wide receivers, each one of them individually. Well, Christian Kirk was wide receiver 95. So you would think I didn't beat anybody, right? Brandon Ayuk, man, wide receiver 105. So at least I got the number 1 wide receiver down. Jennings was wide receiver 24. So not the greatest prediction by me. And this season, Jason, is Christian Kirk on your radar at all, or are you more into like Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins?
Christian Kirk is more on my radar for the beginning of the year. Until I still like Higgins. But I think Christian Kirk at the beginning of the year is going to do better than the rookies.
And then Jason, here is another. I mean, this might be your best one actually. Dak Prescott will be outside the top 12 quarterbacks. And that was crazy because he was coming off of that career year. And dude, he was quarterback 31 to end of the year, but when he was healthy, he was still a disappointment at quarterback 20. So Jason, you hit that right on the head.
Yeah. Sometimes luck needs to be on your side. Sometimes luck needs to be on your side.
But then, Jason, I was all into Khalil Herbert for a while. I watched back our show, and you were like, "Oh yeah, dude, Khalil Herbert. Why don't the coaches know how good he is?" Well, fuck. I said he's going to finish inside the top 12 running backs. He was running back 84, so that was my biggest miss.
No, he's a great runner, but this is what happens when you're a terrible pass protector.
Yeah,
you can't get on the field for the most part.
That's true. All right, dog. I see we have comments if we want to go any of those.
Yeah. Armin's up in here. He's just saying what's up. He's excited, but then he's got a question for us.
Oh, sorry. Got to ask. I have Mims, Coker, Jaden Higgins, Jerome Ford, and Tillman just sitting here. Who do I go with for the 3 bench spots? I'm sticking with Mims even over Coker right now. I need to see Mims. They held him out all preseason, dude. Like, I want to see Mims. Like, if I could pick up Mims I would pick up Mims over Coker and all those dudes. Judkins is messing this up all, dude. I got Judkins in my in our dynasty league, dude, and I don't understand what to fucking do with him either, dude. Jason, I can't see what the other picks that he chose were because they didn't say it. Mims, Coker, Jaden Higgins, Jerome Ford. You want to keep Jerome Ford? So Jerome Ford. I'd go Jerome Ford, Coker, and the third person who I just said. Who was I talking about? And Mims. Who would you take, Jason?
So you would take Mims over Tillman?
Yeah, and I'm a Tillman owner, and I would drop Tillman for Mims, even though that is scary.
Who'd they play? Oh, they're going against the Titans.
Tillman has a great matchup. The first I went over it on my cornerback matchups. Tillman does have a great matchup. So if he is not successful in that first week, you can drop him with Joe Flacco. So I'm not really sure. Yeah, I would keep those three and then just be flexible after week 1.
Yeah, I like Jerome Ford, Coker. Then I guess it's just a coin flip between Mims and Tillman. I like Mims, but dude, Franklin towards the end of those preseason games was looking pretty damn good.
I know, dude, but Mims is a huge wild card, man. He could literally be a top 24 wide receiver, no problem, and he's on the waiver wire in a lot of leagues. So, okay, all right, man. I think I stopped sharing everything. Do you want to go over your first prediction, Jason?
Yeah. Are you ready for this, dude?
I was born red-eyed.
I'm going with speaking of fuck Jerry, George Pickens will get 12 or more touchdowns this season. That's the first one. On Fantasy Pros, he's projected only 8. So according to Reception Perception, he has a successful win rate on the corner, 9, and post routes. Dak Prescott was near the top of the league, averaging 4 deep balls per game and was 7th in deep ball completion percentage. That is an advantage for Pickens. Pickens also had a 72.8 success rate versus man and 77.6% success rate versus press coverage. That is 83rd percentile, because that's great. He does fit in the Cowboys scheme, and as the X wide receiver, they needed one desperately, and they got one. Defenses will focus on CeeDee Lamb. We all know that. Cowboys will have a weak defense. They got rid of some guy you may have heard of him, Micah Parsons. So they will play a lot of catch-up ball. No running game, so Dak will be in the top 5 in pass attempts, so there's going to be volume. Brandon Cooks had 8 touchdowns in 2023 when the Cowboys had an awesome aerial attack. Pickens is bigger, more physical than Cooks, and his contested catches can't compare to Pickens. 12 touchdowns or more. You heard it here.
Brandon Cooks, Jason, went to Oregon State, and now you're talking shit about him?
No, I like Brandon Cooks. I did. I think I may have even drafted him his rookie year. Either his his second year. I drafted him his second year. I had him and Drew Brees, and that was an amazing stack of mine.
Do you have you drafted George Pickens? Have you drafted George Pickens in any league so far?
I've tried in our home league, but he was sniped from me.
Really?
Yeah.
So, and you think that he's going to be what was the prediction? He's going to have 12 plus touchdowns?
Yes.
How many touchdowns do you think that Dak Prescott will throw for?
Shoot, if we're going back to like how it was, like 30 plus.
Do you think he'll get 30 plus this year?
I think there's a chance too. Just to throw this out there, another bold prediction that CeeDee Lamb's going, or George Pickens is going to have more touchdowns than CeeDee Lamb.
I could see that. CeeDee Lamb runs out of the slot. Very interesting, Jason. I think CeeDee Lamb's actually going to run out of the slot way more this year with George Pickens on the team.
You don't have to act like it, Tyler. I know you're not big on this team this year. You've been saying it all offseason.
No, well, I'm just trying to think like a Cowboys fan.
I'm looking at you, and you're like, what can I actually say good about this?
Well, fuck George Pickens. You know what I do, George Pickens? I throw that fucking dude in the trash, man. Come on.
Throw him in the trash. Yeah.
George Pickens. I pick that fool up and toss him onto the waiver wire. Hey, sometimes just because I don't like the offensive coordinator or the situation at all, it still works out, dude. So, yeah. You were the Cowboys fan. I should just go with you. So,
I'm not trying to be a homer. I promise.
You're trying to be
Tyler.
Marge.
Okay, we got another question here.
Did you take Achane or Jake? Oh, dude, Jacobs all day long, considering his. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about this. Hey, what's up? Karash. This guy, Devon Achane is going to be in one of my predictions as a negative. Okay, so I would take Josh Jacobs all day long. We just talked about with the better defense.
I drafted Josh Jacobs in the home league.
Well, Marshawn Lloyd, am I mistaken, or is Marshawn Lloyd out for the first 4 weeks as well? Like, he's out right now.
He's hurt again. USC boy can't stay healthy.
Yeah, so like my only concern with Josh Jacobs was Marshawn Lloyd because Matt LaFleur was talking about actually involving him more. And then I was like looking at my waiver wires and I was like, dude, Marshawn Lloyd was out. And I was like, what the fuck was going on here? So yeah, dude, definitely go Josh Jacobs.
Dude,
all right,
Tyler, check this out. Read this.
Was there another a comment? One last thing. I got a Chip Fitman Basketball has been pushing your channel. Looking forward. Oh, shows have been pushing your channel. I chat of a few football shows. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Offensive line reviews and wide receiver matchups. I didn't read the very end, but
yeah, for week 1, he says, I'll shut up now. Armin, you could talk whatever
dude, talk all you fucking want, dude. You put your arm on that goddamn thing rest and you talk all you want. But yeah, so again, I'm going to have a more in-depth wide receiver matchup when they come out with the cheat sheets week 1, probably in a couple days. We'll see if that happens. And then Jason with his offensive line stuff, man, is huge as far as like, offensive line, like some defensive lines don't touch a running back for like 3 yards. And we need to know about that kind of shit. Thanks guys. Hey, no worries, dude.
Yeah. One thing I want to say though, is that I don't think they do the O-line report the first week. I don't think
they do either because they need data. They need data.
And so Armin, we need to get you in the listener league.
Armin. Oh yeah. Well, we'll see if we can. Because it'd be 11 people, but maybe we might be able to pull 12th. I'll get my niece to join. She loves football.
Send Tyler your email address.
All right, dog. Okay, I'm sharing this. So my first is my MVP, of course, dude. I saw this guy the first time he touched the ball, and I was like, I need to do some research on pass catching running backs with Josh McDaniels, and I was like, all right, he's my MVP. TreVeyon Henderson will lead all running backs in targets and finish ahead of Devon Achane in fantasy points. So I was just talking about Devon Achane. Why this is bold. Devon Achane, dude, is going as running back 7. Henderson is going as running back 19. So a low-end running back 1 compared to a running back, or a low-end running back 2 compared to a running back 1. And last season, Alvin Kamara led the NFL running backs with 89 targets. So I went back to the 4 years. I love James White, dude. James White is one of my favorite running backs with Josh McDaniels and everything like that. Pass catching PPR stud. If you're playing PPR, dude, TreVeyon Henderson is going to be insane. Okay. So for 4 years, right? A 4-year period, I went and averaged it out. That fool averaged 94 targets per season. All right. 2016 through 2019 with Josh McDaniels, while never exceeding 94 rushing attempts. So everybody's all, hey man, TreVeyon Henderson cannot do this. He's not going to get the attempts. I don't care, dude. It's all about the receptions in the PPR league. That's literally where he gets his points from. There was 1 year where James White had 120 targets and he was running back 7 overall. That is literally in the outcome of TreVeyon Henderson. His splits with oh shit. Okay, I forgot to put this. And now Devon Achane, man. I'm just thinking about Devon Achane. His splits with and without Tua were remarkable. He averaged 22.5 fantasy points per game with Tua, right? 22.5. That was the number 1 running back in the league. He 8.7 when he was out. 8.7. That is fucking insane, dude. So they both rely on catching the ball. That's what they both rely on. But one is system related and one is quarterback related. So that quarterback, dude, if he gets 1 concussion, he's done forever. All right. So there's the injury risk. There's the quarterback injury risk. So it's double the injury risk just because of the quarterback. Then Achane, we're talking about like, and I just want to talk about like, is Achane like good in anything other than catching the ball? He ran the ball 5 times when the Dolphins needed 1 yard to score. He lost 3 yards on those runs and only scored once. So 5 rushes when they needed to score. He was negative yards. And he scored once. That's fucking crazy. He had 14 runs within 5 yards of scoring, and he only scored 3 times. So I get that he's super efficient. He's amazing, right? 50 yards out, whatever. But when it matters, he's not good. He is literally like, he needs to catch the ball, dude. Like that's what it is. And Henderson's the same way. But Henderson's floor for catching the ball is much higher. Henderson has the most significant gap between how much he plays on gap runs compared to zone runs, finishing with a 96.3 career grade on gap compared to 87.5 on zone. And Josh McDaniels are all about the gap. They're like, I think they're the most in the league. They tend to be the most heavy gap scheme in the league. So not only does the system cater itself to TreVeyon Henderson in the passing game, it does in the running game as well. So even if he gets only 96 carries, dude, over the entire season, he can still be a running back 7. That is in the range of outcomes. And that is exactly where Devon Achane is going. And I think he's being overdrafted right now, Jason. So TreVeyon Henderson over Devon Achane is not that crazy to me.
Yeah, especially now because of the calf strain.
It's all injury related, dude. I mean, that's what it is.
If this is going to be, let's say if you hit this one, I want half the credit because Achane was my fantasy beast. And as the streak continues, a fantasy beast of mine gets injured the day after I make him my fantasy beast.
Half credit. Whatever, dude. You get your credit. All right, man. I'm going to stop sharing. Jason, what's your next prediction?
We got Ivan's up in here. He says he has his draft at 20 minutes. He has the 4th pick.
Oh, I had the 4th pick. You're either going to go Gibbs or Barkley. Gibbs or Barkley. Gibbs or Barkley. That's what you're going to do. Unless Jamar Chase falls, then you go Jamar Chase. Other than that, you go Gibbs or Barkley.
What if I did Gibbs greater sign over, or Barkley greater sign over Gibbs?
No, okay, I take it back. So you go, okay. So Jamar Chase, number 1, is what I would do if he falls. Then Bijan Robinson, I would take over Saquon. No. I'm doing Saquon over Bijan, then Bijan, and then Gibbs. But the chances are you're going to be between Gibbs and Saquon. That's the way it's every fucking mock draft has happened when you pick 4. And I go Gibbs or Saquon. Or Gibbs or Saquon, depending on what you like. I go Saquon over Gibbs. I ended up with Gibbs this season in my home league.
He's like Barkley. He already knows what's up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, take Barkley, man. It's a better offensive line, so go with that.
Yep. Okay. Up next, this one's going to be a little bit shorter. T. Higgins will play every game. That's bold prediction 1A. This is bold prediction 1B. And be a top 7 wide receiver with Jamar Chase at the end of the season. Both would be top 7 and wide receiver scoring. Chase, of course, he's going to be a lock of the top 7. He's a lock. But Higgins being a top 7, this is ridiculous. Right? Maybe not. But Higgins has a bonus in his contract for each game he plays in. So each game that he actually plays in this year, they added it to his contract, he gets a bonus. Because they're like, bro, you're missing too many games. If you want these extra bonuses, you actually have to play. If I was him, I would be going into the, what do you call it, Tyler? Like the hyperbolic chamber?
The hyperbolic. Do I talk about that a lot?
I don't know. What's the chamber you go to and like you go in there for like 20 minutes, but when you come out, it's like a day later.
It's like a hyperbolic thing. It's what Fry from Futurama fell into.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so he did miss some games last year, but Higgins still ended up 6th in points per game, even though he missed 6 games. 7 out of the 11 games that he played, him and Chase both scored over 17 points. That's pretty crazy. So there's enough volume for both wide receivers to score points when they're both on the field. They have a horrible defense, so Bengals offense will be high scoring again. They are projected to be top 10 in scoring offense this season. We will see a first ever top 2 7 wide receivers from the same team. Don't fact me. I didn't really look at that last fact. I just assumed there's never been 2 wide receivers top 7 in the same team.
T. Higgins was one of the hardest people to rank this year because you know how I don't like to rank number 2 wide receivers high. But, Jason, I kept on thinking about how last year, dude, I think half of the season, man, you and I were ranking T. Higgins and Jamar Chase inside the top 10 every single week. So it's like, why am I changing my rankings? Just because it's before the year and all that stuff. I still put T. Higgins lower than he should, right? So if you want to be realistic in what you think about in real life, like in real time, like think about how you thought about it last year. Because we had that whole offseason just to fuck you up and, skew your thinking. But last year, Jason, we thought he was a top 7 wide receiver. So why are we ranking him below that now? It's because he's a wide receiver too. But the way I believe in Joe Burrow and everything else, man, it's like, I don't understand why I don't have him ranked higher. I continually downgrade him because he's a wide receiver too. So yeah, I would not be surprised if this ended up being correct.
Yeah, this is just something that this show does. It's difficult for both of us to sit there and put a wide receiver 2 in the top 12. And I think it's just because, there's always that possibility that the wide receiver 1, Jamar Chase, is going to take all the targets, all the scoring. But, 45 touchdowns, 4,500 yards last year, there's enough to go around. Chase Brown is a pass-catching running back, and he's still getting picked. And people are saying he has a chance to be a number 1 running back at the end of the season because he's on this offense.
A good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's just crazy, but, I believe he can do it. He just got to stay healthy, man. Joe Burrow's got to stay healthy. Yeah.
Why do you like him, Jason? Oh, man, he's so fast. I like him when I watch him. All right, here we go.
Yeah, why do you like that guy? He's fast. he ran fast, so I like him a lot. Pick him up, please.
All right, here we go, man. Next bold prediction by me. Jordan Mason will have 10-plus touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and finish ahead of David Montgomery in fantasy points. Both running back 2s in the NFC North for high-powered offenses. Both, man, like if you look at where the Vikings offensive line is ranked now, and they did not lose their starting center, dude. So similarly ranked offensive lines on some sites. Why is this bold? Well, David Montgomery, ADP running back 22. And then you look at Jordan Mason, he's going outside the top 36, not even being considered as a flex, whereas David Montgomery's pretty much written in as a running back 2 for your fantasy team. Aaron Jones, all right, the 15th most attempts inside the 5-yard line at 13. So that was average, right? And they didn't even want to do that, man. They did not even want to run him in the 5-yard line or inside the 5-yard line watching that team. He had -2 yards off of those 13 attempts, -2 yards and 3 touchdowns. If you look, nobody with like more than 5 attempts, Jason, had negative yards on that. So Aaron Jones was so bad inside the 5, they are not going to do it again. They're going to Jordan Mason will be the inside 5 guy. Rookie-ish quarterback. I'm expecting way more rushing plays inside the 20-yard line. So I expect Jordan Mason not only to get those carries, but to get much more of those carries because the field shrinks inside the 20-yard line and everything and you need touch inside that 20-yard line. And everything I've been reading about and seeing is that JJ McCarthy's got a good fastball, but he has 0 touch. It's almost like a Will Levis type of situation. I'm not digging that inside the red zone. And then here we go, man. Let's talk about Montgomery. He's averaged 16.8 and 15.8 touches a game in Gibbs' first 2 years. The Vikings averaged 27 rushing attempts, and Jones averaged 15 rushing attempts per game. So that only leaves like 12 for Jordan Mason, whereas Montgomery's getting almost 17, maybe 16. Now, I do think Gibbs will get more. So I'm thinking Montgomery's will be more 15, and I think that Mason will get more. They do not want a 31-year-old Aaron Jones getting all those carries. So I think he's going to be closer to 15. So maybe 14 carries to 15 carries. I think it's going to be much more similar this year. And then as far as scheme and outside zone run schemes in 2024, which the Vikings ran the 7th most of last year, yards per carry, Aaron Jones 4.4, Jordan Mason 5.9, dude. That's like top of the league. Missed tackles forced per attempt. We love that for running backs. That directly correlates to fantasy points and success. Aaron Jones 0.14. That's not good. We talk about you start becoming elite top 10 at 0.25. Jordan Mason 0.29. And then so an explosive rush rate, Aaron Jones 3.1, Jordan Mason 3 times that. So in this scheme, Jordan Mason should be the better goal line back. He should be the more explosive back between between the 20s. So there is a very 25% chance, man. He's a lead back by the end of the season, as far as I'm concerned. Again, Aaron Jones from 31. You and I both, Jason, have been targeting Jordan Mason in every single draft. We've been pushing him in best ball for like 6 months, dude, ever since that trade happened. So yeah, Jordan Mason's going to be on this list.
When you told me you were going to do Jordan Mason, I thought you were going to just say that he's going to outscore Aaron Jones.
10 plus touchdowns, dog. I've been doing 2 predictions per fucking prediction, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah. But dude, this is definitely in the realm for him. I think there's going to be a time where, like you said, that he's going to be the number 1 running back in Minnesota. I don't think people realize how many opportunities Jordan Mason's going to get in this offense.
All right,
and Jason. Then let's go.
So my shitted dogs. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna stop sharing. Tell me your next. Oh, do we have any comments or anything we need to talk about?
Corian just
Corian
making fun of me.
He's all, hey, bitch. Remember when you got beat last year?
By the champ.
Remember when Bobby Boucher came back and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl?
Bobby Boucher came back in halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Boober Bowl.
I got that from you.
Yeah. God, that's like
Sorry,
the part thing. Okay. Tyler, you're not going to like this next one. So turn your head. Kyren Williams will finish outside top 15 running back scoring. Okay. Pick up the mic.
Usage.
I don't believe drafting a running back in back-to-back years is a good thing for Kyren Williams. In 2024, Rams were dead last in explosive run percentage at 1.8%. Now, to me, that doesn't sound like a Sean McVay run game, okay? And Kyren had most of the carries for the Rams with 316, which he had only 6 breakaway runs last year. And apparently he doesn't catch the ball either. He was 30th in receptions for running backs. They have Devontae Adams now, who is a touchdown hog in the red zone. So a lot of Kyren Williams' value came in the red zone. Well, that's kind of going to be taken away by Devontae Adams. I think there's a world where the thing that made Kyren Williams, which is volume, will decrease this season. And if his running metrics are as bad this year as they were last year, this guy won't be top 12. He won't be top 15.
So I've read it on a couple sites because I knew that his efficiency was way down last year. It was like Rashard White-ish. You know, Rashard White got all of his points from PPR or whatever, but he had that starting job for a couple of years with terrible efficiency and relied on volume. And that's kind of what Kyren Williams has been. He's been the touch leader in fantasy football and amongst running backs for 2 years in a row. And I didn't think about you until you said it. Yeah, drafting running backs 2 years in a row, Jason, is not a good sign. So, but ever since, you know, Todd Gurley with his injuries and they didn't have anybody, it was like TreVeyon Henderson and all this shit, dude. Maybe they're just going to draft a running back every single offseason.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do understand what you're saying. So Kyren Williams, I have him ranked in the second round, and he's been going he's been going to the third round, dude, in so many drafts. It's insane. And if people were drafting him at the end of the first, I've been like, hey man, whatever, get yourself that safe floor running back to start with. And that defense is supposed to be amazing. So you think opportunities and volume are going to be there still. But as far as efficiency goes, Jason, you're totally right. There is a world where he gets something taken away from him, and everybody's been talking about it. It's almost like the Trey Benson situation, that Blake Corum's going to get more touches. So I'll believe it when I see it, but there is a lot of risk with Kyren Williams. I'll admit that.
Yeah, and then that fourth round running back was Jarquez Hunter. That dude's like a bowling ball, bro.
Yeah, they called him. I can't remember what I had it written down on my hype show. Fuck, I can't remember what it was. But he just kept on. He's a heavy runner, man. He's a heavy runner. He falls forward. He breaks tackles, and it was like a lot of the shit that Kyren Williams was bad at last year was what Sean McVay was complimenting Jarquez Hunter in. So yeah, that's bad too, man.
Yeah, that's good that you said that, because you know what Kyren Williams rushing yards over expected per attempt was?
Like negative fucking what?
0.
Yeah. Well, he got what he was. Got what he was. He took what he was given. And they want more.
Yeah, he was not falling forward. He was like falling, like to the side. He was like falling to the side.
All right, man. Here we go. I'm gonna. So those were your 3 predictions, huh?
Yep.
Yay, Jason. Maybe a little bit shorter show, but it's okay. Every once in a while, we need a 50-minute show. Let's see. So, can you see what I'm sharing now, Jason?
Hunter Henry.
So, my bold prediction. I just picked this guy up on waivers. I have Colson Loveland as my number 1 tight end, and I was like, I need somebody safer, man, for my backup, just in case shit hits the fan. Hunter Henry will lead the tight ends, all tight ends, in reception touchdowns, and finish ahead of Travis Kelce in fantasy points. Why this is bold? Travis Kelce being taken as tight ends number 6 overall, and Hunter Henry is being taken as the tight end 18. So not even as a tight end 1, dude. Middle of the round, middle, like an average tight end 2 right now. Not great. Hunter Henry was signed by Josh McDaniels and the Patriots as an unrestricted free agent in 2021. So I forgot, Jason, that Hunter Henry has had Josh McDaniels as a offensive coordinator before, only for 1 year. Josh McDaniels went to the Raiders to be head coach the year after that. But that 1 year, Hunter Henry had a career high in 9 touchdowns with a rookie Mac Jones. And now he has Drake May, who is better than Mac Jones. I don't care what you say. Then McDaniels left. Henry, and we talked about last year, just so I'm thinking about touchdowns. Henry 5th in red zone targets last year and 3rd in targets inside the 10-yard line, dude, from Drake May, the quarterback that he has again this year. So the chemistry is already built up in the 10-yard line and the 5-yard line. And then, so we know what Henry does and his potential. 9 touchdowns before with a rookie Mac Jones, and now he's the main pass catcher on this team, one of them. So it should go up is what my logic is here. And then looking at Kelsey's most significant problems were after the catch. He averaged 15.7 avoided tackles per game that's crazy, from 2014 to 2023, finishing with 17 in 2023. And when I say per game, I think this was messed up. I think it was per year. But that dropped, maybe it is per game. Whatever, dude. Anyways, that dropped to 4 in 2024. He was terrible after the catch last year. He averaged at least 7 yards after the catch per catch early in his career, in 5.0 to 6.2 in the middle of late parts of his career, and now that fell to 3.5 last season. So, dude, after the catch has been terrible for like a while, and it's trending down. Rashee Rice, right? I remember talking about this. Rashee Rice takes that Travis Kelce role. When he was the focal point of the offense over the first 3 weeks last season, Kelce was held to 8 receptions for 69 yards in 3 weeks, dude. So Rashee Rice does the up the seam, vertical routes. That's what Kelce made a living on forever. Rashee Rice comes in, takes that all away, dude. And then Kelce, being 35, 36 years old, almost retiring, is giving that over to him. Now, in the playoffs, it might change. But in the regular season, dude, that's the way it is. Rashee Rice is taking Travis Kelce's role. And now we know. So Travis Kelce's going to have 6 good weeks. And then it's going to go down the shitter. Even the last 2 or 3 years, Jason, Kelce's not scored a touchdown in the last 6 weeks anyways. So now, even more so, it's going to be a huge dip in the second half of the season. Let's see. Those 3 weeks with Rice were the worst 3 weeks of his regular season. So direct correlation to Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce being successful. So Hunter Henry has the ceiling, has the coach, has the red zone targets. Travis Kelce, dude, has Rashee Rice coming for his ass and age, and he's planning a fucking wedding I don't want to think about. So, hey, I think this is an easy pick, easy choice for me.
You know, Taylor Swift is actually one of the people to get a ring in the last 30 years instead of the Cowboys.
I know, dude. Everybody was saying, hey, man, at least Travis Kelce's going to retire with a ring. And like, yeah, whatever, dude.
My doctor at my job actually said that to me. And he said,
oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Is he a doctor?
He's a doctor. Doctor. Hunter Henry has lived in the end zone since even his years as a Charger. He doesn't even pay. Dude, I'm serious. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. Man, I had this whole thing. He doesn't even pay rent in the end zone because he's there so often. Or he does pay rent because he's so often. So I messed everything up here. You know what? That was a good call, Tyler. We got a question here. We got to go to the board here. So you got the guy. Right. Squatters, right?
Oh, Henry and Genty. I'd go. So I'm going Henry and Genty over Kyren. Based on my league last year, I could maybe get JSN or Mike Evans or DK in the 3rd or 4th. I'm going JSN over DK and Mike Evans. I'm going Mike Evans. Mike Evans and DK are a tough one for me. I can't remember my exact one. If you're in standard or half PPR, I'd go Mike Evans for sure. That's the touchdowns. And then PPR, I'd probably go DK Metcalf. I think I have them ranked pretty closely there. Same tier at least. But JSN is on a... And I do want to talk about this real fast, Jason. JSN, man, is ranked as, if you look at over and unders for Vegas, wide receiver 11. So right now, Vegas, who's smarter than everybody, they make their living off of this, has JSN as wide receiver 11, dude. So pick him up over those other two. And then I would go Ginty and Henry over Kyren Williams.
I think JSN could be, great this year, but because of all the changes they had in Seattle, he's just not a sexy pick, But he's still.
I mean, he was my first. I fell in love. I wanted him so bad, and then I just been hearing so much shit about Sam Darnold over the offseason being bad, and then he came out in his one preseason game and played well and threw it short repeatedly. So that's all great for JSN. So I changed my mind back to wanting JSN, but I could never get him in any draft yet.
Yeah, Ocorion. Man, we got dynasty talk. He's telling me I need to cough up Bowers, and he'll give me a running back, which I need. I do need, dude. I've never been sniped so much in a league until we were playing that dynasty.
Man. RJ Harvey. I was like, you just pissed off Jason.
I was like, you fuck. You fuck. I told you. So right before me, man.
I'd pee my pants, dude.
All right, dude. So let's end this then.
We're going to end it. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Jason's going to send us out. I will have some video coming up soon. I'm waiting for those cheat sheets. Jason, please tell the public of the show. I'm going to pee my pants. I'm sorry.
All right. So next Friday, we may or may not do this because there's a game next Friday. It's the Chiefs and whoever the Chiefs are playing on a Friday, which kind of sucks. But we do have some videos coming out during the week. I have a Dark Horse video. I had a dream about the thumbnail, and I was like, dude, I kind of want to make that into a video. And then Tyler got his shit going on too. Make sure to catch us in those videos. I'll talk to you in my video coming out in a couple days. Deuces. Happy Labor Day.
Okay.